Okay, good morning to all of you. Already we have discussed the static characteristics of the inverter. Okay, so now the time is we have to discuss the switching characteristics, that dynamic behavior of the CMOS inverter. Okay, so in that static characteristics, what we have done? We have done the VTC. Okay, voltage transfer characteristics. We vary the input voltage. So according to that, we got that characteristic score. Okay. So the saturation regions, linear regions, cutoff regions, we have discussed, and also we have discussed what noise margin. Okay, and that noise margin high, noise margin low. So what is the VOL voltage? What is VOH voltage? And what is VIL, VIH? What is threshold voltage of the transistor? Okay, and the slope of that that curve at VIL and VIH, that we have discussed. Okay, so for different type of inverters, like that resistor resistor load inverter, then NMOS load inverter. So finally, we have discussed the CMOS inverter. Okay, so we have also conducted a lab session for that. So Prachita and Satabdi already shown you about that three type of inverters with these characteristics. Okay. So now we'll discuss the dynamic behavior of the CMOS inverter. So here the dynamic behavior means that means whatever we'll do the transient, we'll analyze the transient response of the inverter. Okay, so versus time. So we'll give a input pulse, then we'll get a output pulse. Means it's inverter means if we'll give a high voltage at the input, so definitely we'll get a low voltage at the output. The transition at the output, the transition. Okay, so that thing we'll see. That means what is the delay? That means propagation delay. Means from input to output delay. That is called propagation delay. Okay, so that thing we'll discuss. Again, we'll discuss that rise time and fall time. Okay, so at the output, suppose initially it is 0. So suddenly it will rise from 0 to 1. Then that rise time, okay, to reach that high voltage from 0 to 1 or 0 to VDD. So how much time it will take? So that is rise time. Okay. Generally, we will define that rise time from 10% to 90%. So that 10% to 90% of the output voltage means supply voltage. So what is the time it takes? So that is the rise time. Similarly, for fall time, that from high to low, if the output initially it is high, means at VDD voltage. So it will transit from high to low. Then how much time it will take? So that is the fall time. So basically, these three things we will discuss, and after that, time will permit. Then we will discuss that power and power delay products, all these things. Okay. So here, propagation time, why it is important? Okay. So because for every circuit operation, if delay is there or rise delay, fall delay, all these are there, then definitely it will affect the performance of the circuit in terms of speed. Okay, means for higher speed operation will not use particularly that circuits. Okay, so to use for high performance, for high speed circuit, definitely your propagation delay, your rise time and fall time should be very, very low. Okay, so that is our main intention. So we have to study how this propagation delay, how rise time, fall time comes, then how to minimize that. What is the main cause of these things? Okay, this thing we'll discuss. Then once you'll understand this, then we'll go to the next level. So here, this is a simple inverter. Okay, so at this output, assume this is a CL, load capacitance. Means whatever the capacitance, intrinsic capacitance or extrinsic capacitance or load wiring capacitance. So all are summed to a load capacitance. Means that wiring capacitance, intrinsic and extrinsic capacitance. So all are summed to a CL. So this CL is from V out to ground. Okay. So this is called load capacitance. Okay. So If this load capacitance will increase, what will happen? Then means your charging and discharging time will increase. Okay. So if the charging and discharging time will increase, then definitely your propagation delay, means delay of this inverter will increase. Okay. Similarly, rise time also increase and fall time also increase. So here you can see if CL increases, load capacitance increases, then propagation delay increases, output rise time increases, and output fall time increases. So this part you understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we'll go one by one how this CL component comes from, and also how the charging and discharging things happen, how it will take time, the transient behavior of that RC circuit. Because inside inverter, you know that is one PMOS is there, one NMOS is there. Okay, so that PMOS part is modeled as one resistor, and NMOS part also modeled as a resistor. Okay, that resistor is connected from VDD to output port or output port to ground. Okay, so that resistor R and C will act as a RC circuit. Okay, so that will responsible for that charging and discharging time. Okay, so if RC means that C will increase or R will increase, definitely your delay part will increase, whether it's a propagation delay or rise time or fall time. Okay, so that thing will see.
Sir, for an inverter, rise time and fall time should be high or less, sir?
Rise time
and fall time should be means greater or lower?
You can say greater or lower.
Sir, because we have to move from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0, so the rise time and fall time should be greater, I think.
0 to 1 or 0 to 1 to 0. And then why it is greater? Why it is?
So because rise time is, as you said, that we have to move from 10% to 90%.
Yes.
So the greater will be for for that greater means we have to move faster at 0 to 1 as an inverter.
Oh, how you how you are saying you will be faster from 0 to 1 and less faster in 1 to 0?
Sir, I was saying that means means if we give greater if it will be greater rise time, we can move from 0 to 1 as faster as in the fall time. Or
no, that rise time and fall time, if you are asking this question, then you should know the rise time and fall time depends on what?
Don't know, sir.
Then how we are saying that it's more or it's less? That's why you should know these things. Otherwise, always you will remember these things. This is greater, this is small. Then after some time you will forget. Only again you have to. Okay, so that's why I have mentioned everything here. One by one we'll discuss. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So first means first here we know that if CL increase, remember if load capacitance increases, then definitely these timing parameters means that propagation delay, output rise time or fall time will increase. Okay. So that intrinsic R, forget about inside that resistance is there, inside that inverter. Okay, that RC, you know RC time constant. If RC will increase, then delay will increase or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So remember, if suppose R is constant, then CL increases, then definitely this part will increase. Okay. So here remember, if CL increases, then definitely your delay components will be increased. Okay. So now we'll study how this CL comes. Okay. So already we have discussed the intrinsic capacitance of a particular device, NMOS or PMOS, whatever. Okay. So have you remembered that all these things? What are the capacitances for a particular transistor? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me,
Yes,
what are
sir.
the capacitances?
Sir, first will be a gate to that bulk capacitance.
So get to bulk, at which condition that they get to bulk capacitance will come?
At means, sir, gate to bulk capacitance when there will be channel, means VG must be greater than the threshold voltage, then it will form a capacitance.
The get to bulk, when channel is formed, get to bulk will come.
No, not come, sir.
Then you should know. So I am telling everything very detail, so you are not understanding. So
No,
what are, so one by one, just do. So I am teaching one by one, then you are not understanding, you are not remembering anything. So what are the capacitance? Worker,
yes, sir.
what are the
Sir,
capacitances?
and one will be from that, and then it will be from, sir, one will be from that
So
M2
have you
to,
studied or not? After my lecture, have you studied any book or my notes, or have you studied or not? Honestly say.
yes, sir, I have studied by
Then
your notes. I have studied.
then you will answer. Okay. Okay. So what are the capacitance? Intrinsic capacitances for a transistor.
Intrinsic one will be, sir, uh, from that yeah, implantation, ion implantation, that n plus region to that bulk will be one capacitor.
That is which capacitance?
That is which
See, if you will not give the answer properly, so no one will select you. Even if after one question they will say, okay, go, it's okay now.
yes, sir.
So you have to realize what you have means. You have to study these things very well. In very detail, I have given in the note, and also you can get from either Kang book or Rave book. Everywhere it's mentioned very clearly. So if you will not study, or if you will not, then why I will teach you these things? Simply I will say it is in book. You read and solve the exams, pass your, and go anywhere. Means very in very detail I am saying, because you will understand the device. Then anytime anyone asks, you can able to answer. That's why I'm saying these things. Otherwise, I can say this is the formula. This type of question will come. Just put the formula, get the answer, and you will get a O grade or E grade. Okay. So there are three types of intrinsic capacitance are there. Okay, one oxide related capacitance, one time dependent, that diffusion capacitances. Okay, reverse bias junction capacitance. What you are saying, that drain to bulk, that is the junction capacitances. Okay, it is completely non-linear, voltage dependent, depends upon the reverse bias voltage, that drain to bulk or source to bulk, whatever. Okay, and that oxide capacitance overlap capacitances. Overlap means that get to
CGS
source,
and CGT.
yes, get to source and get to drain, that overlap capacitance will come. Okay. So these are the capacities you need to know, need to remember. And what is the at that channel related capacitance? At saturation, what is the capacitance value? At cutoff, what is the cutoff capacitance value? At linear, what is the capacitance value? So these things you have to know, you have to remember. If you are not understanding, you can ask me. Either you have to study, you have to remember, you have to understand, otherwise you have to ask. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I am saying everyone, please go through in very detail. So every material is available. So I am collecting that thing and representing here. So you can get more good things in that books, Rabe books or that Kang book, other online materials are there. So it's a time you have to research, you have to know all these things. Okay. Okay, anyway. So here the CL component we'll discuss. What are that capacitance finally come to one capacitance, that is CL. So think about when we are using a circuit. Okay, so generally we are saying that output load capacitance. So if we'll connect two inverters in cascade, okay, so this is one inverter, this is another inverter, okay, and here we'll assume this V in is completely ideal voltage source. Okay, there is no okay, so here, so this here, okay, this V in is ideal voltage source. Okay. So this is ideal. Okay, this is V in. Ideal means there is no rise time like this. There is no rise time. It's zero rise time and zero fall time. Okay, we are assuming here, and there is no input load input capacitance also. Okay, so because suppose there is another circuit is connected, so definitely some capacitance will come here. Okay, but we are assuming there is no capacitance and V in is ideal. Okay, there is no rise time, no fall time. So here we'll assume that V in is ideal. Then we'll calculate the CL. So based on this drain terminal and this gate of the next terminal and those wiring capacitances. So three terms will come. This capacitance from this side, from the first inverter drain point, and capacitance from the second inverter gate point, and this is the wiring capacitances. Okay, so these three capacitance combined, finally we will get CL. So at the output node. Okay, so what are the capacitance? Here the first capacitance is at this drain node. You know that ball to drain. This ball to drain, this is one capacitance. Again for NMOS, this is drain to ball. So these two capacitance, though this bulb is connected to ground because source, and this is also VDD, and this is for small signal it is 0. Okay, for DC it is VDD. For small signal it is also 0. That means for small signal there is no change in here. That means almost 0 for small signal. So that's why from this point to ground, this point to ground also, two capacitance we get. Okay. So again, here you can see from here, this is gate, this is source. Okay. This is CGSL, this is CGSP. Okay. So again, it's also AC ground, this is also ground. So again, two capacitance will come. And next thing is this wire capacitance. Okay, this wire means it is in reality, so you are seeing it in circuit, but in reality it's nothing but a layout. Okay, so you know layout of a inverter. Okay, suppose for an inverter, this is your transistor. So this is your VDD. This is your PMOS source. This is your NMOS This is your NMOS source, this is ground, okay, and this is your drain. These two terminal. So this is your output, V out. So this is your V in, this is VDD, this is ground. Okay. So now these things, this V out, this is nothing but metal. These are the metal. Again, this is metal. This is poly. So due to this, from metal to substrate, metal to other metals, so other capacitance will be there. Okay. So that capacitance is nothing but this wiring capacitances. Okay. This is wiring capacitance. So finally, three things will come. This output. This is called that fan out capacitances of the next gate. This is the intrinsic capacitances. This is the wiring capacitances. Okay. So again, these capacitances also come to here. So you can see here, this terminal is not connected to ground. This is not ground actually. But we are also add this capacitance to here because you know that Miller equations, Miller effect of any circuit. Yes or no? So see, you don't know the Miller, then you have to study about what is Miller effect. Okay. So this thing first I'll discuss this thing. How this capacitance, this drain to gate. Okay. This CGD of the first inverter, how it is coming or how it is adding to the CL also. Okay. So you know, this is the, if we'll take this one or anyone or NMOS, you can see this is the capacitance. This is the output node and this is the input node. This is CGD1. Okay. And you know, for Miller effect, you can split this capacitance two sides. One from here. Okay, we can split this capacitance. One is here. Okay. One is here and another here. So it depends upon gain of this circuit. Okay, this is input, this is output. What is the gain of this circuit? Okay. So that means the output capacitance is equal to C0 is equal to is 1 plus gain into that CGD. Okay. And C in, here C in is equal to 1 by 1 plus gain into CGD. So this way you can split that one capacitor, that output to input, we can split in outside and in output node and input node. This is the Miller equation. If you want to know more in Miller effects of Miller equations, you can go through any good material. Okay, you can get. This is the way how we will split one capacitor in two sides. In one at output, one at input. Okay. So here in digital, in high means large signal mode, the gain of this inverter is equal to actually 1. Okay, whatever input we are giving, that output we are getting. Okay, that is 1. So that's why here C0 is equal to nothing to CGD1. So if you split this capacitor into sides, so this you will get 2 CGD1, and here it will 1 by 2 is 0.5 CGD1. Actually we need this one, so 2 times of this CGD1 we will get here. Okay. So this thing you clear or not? So you need to, yeah, you need to study that what is Miller effects. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So generally, for any, it can applicable in the registers also. If a feedback register is there, output to input. So how will split in capacitor also? So everything is there. You can learn. So here for capacitor, you remember for a that output capacitance will be output capacitance will be that C0 is equal to 1 plus A. A is equal to gain of that system, okay, into that feedback capacitance, CF. And C in is equal to 1 by 1 plus A into CF, like that. So that's why you get more capacitance at the output. Okay. So if you see here, this part will add also in output. Okay, this part, though it is connected to the output node, so it will also 2 times of this part will add to the output. Okay. So this is one capacitance. Again, then CDB and CDB1 and CDB2. That's that is junction capacitance, that is non-linear and voltage dependent. So that will also add. Okay. That is one thing. Next, diffusion capacitance CDB1 and then wiring capacitances CW. So wiring capacitances again depends upon that metal and poly. How much metal you are using is long or thick, okay, for that output connection or input connections. So that depends upon the thickness and the length of the wire. You will calculate the capacitance. So that will add at the directly at the output. Okay. So again, the wiring capacitance is the function of the distance of the fan out from the driving gate and the number of fan out. So fan out, what is fan out? Anyone know what is fan out?
The number of outputs which can be connected to a gate.
Okay. Yeah, number of outputs can be connected to the same number of gates, or suppose it's one inverter. Okay, here for example, suppose it is the inverter is connected. So here, suppose 4 inverter is connected, same type of inverter. Okay, so we can say here the fan out is 4. Okay, fan out is equal to 4 because same type of inverter. This is same also. Same type of inverter is 4 inverters are connected. Okay, or you can do like this. Suppose this is one inverter. This is another inverter. Here W by L ratio. Suppose this is 1. L is constant. Okay, this here, so 4W. Okay, it's 4 times. Then also you can say it's in fan out of 4. Okay, inside that transistors. So W is 4 times of that inverter in the first stage. Here we can say also fan out is 4. So similarly, if the fan out will be more, then more wires will come. This is one wire, again the routing will be there. Okay, this is metal. So all capacitance will add this output. Okay. So that's are the do that fan out. So you will add more wiring capacitances. Okay. So next, this gate capacitance of the fan out CG3, that output stage capacitances. Okay, that C fan, generally we call that C fan out. Okay, that C gate NMOS plus C gate PMOS. Okay, from gate to source or gate to source of PMOS or gate to source of NMOS. and get to that means drain, or that part is very, very small. We are not considering that thing. So here you can see that what are the capacitances, that overlap capacitances plus that channel capacitances, whether it is saturation or linear or cutoff. So according to that it will add. So these all capacitances will add to the CL. Okay. So now completely the CL is nothing but, so the CL is nothing but C intrinsic, that related to that fast inverter, then C wiring capacitances plus C fan out, means that next stage inverters capacitances. Okay. So these are the capacitances to form that complete CL. So now we have to think how to minimize that. So these things, how we minimize that? For proper layout practice, we can minimize this internal capacitance, intrinsic capacitance. That means that diffusion capacitances, by using less area, we can decrease that intrinsic capacitance. Wiring also, by doing the proper routing, okay, less routing, proper routing, so we can reduce these capacitances. Okay, also in the output stage, similarly that inverter, if you do proper design, then that overlap capacitance cannot ignore. That's other capacitance related to that diffusion capacitances. That will not come at the output. So these two things you can reduce. So these things you cannot reduce. So these two things you can reduce by doing the proper layout. Okay. So finally, these are the. So now you can see the propagation delay. Okay. So what is the definition of that propagation? This is the input to output delay during the signal transition at 50%. Okay. Generally, for if we calculate the propagation delay, so it is calculated at the 50%. Okay, here this is the input. We are giving a 0 to 1 or low to high voltage at the input, and we are getting a high to low voltage at the output. Okay, so now see, due to that CL, okay, due to that CL, how this curve is coming, means this is not like this. Okay, it's not exactly that input, because that capacitance, the discharge time is there. So it initially at the output the voltage was high, VOH. So now it is discharging to VOL, but it is taking time. Okay. So at 50% of the input. So here after some time, so you are getting that 50% value. So this is nothing but this time. It's nothing but the delay. Okay. This is the propagation delay at high to low. It's generally called as TPHL. Propagation delay from high to low transition. This is the delay, means that suppose this is T1, T0. So T1 minus T0 is your propagation delay when the transition from high to low. Okay. Similarly, at the input you can see the input is from high to low. The input is from high to low. Definitely output from 0 to high or low to high. So again you can see we are starting from here at 50%. So it will take some time, okay, to reach that 50%. So that is the propagation delay when it will output will transit from low to high. So you can say it's TPLH, low to high. Okay, that is T3 minus 2. Okay. So this is the propagation time definition, and you will calculate it from 50% of the time from input to that output. What is the difference? Timing difference. Okay. So it will calculate that propagation delay time. So this is the propagation delay time, means that changing from V1 to V2, either from VDD to VDD by 2, okay, or 0 to VDD by 2, that V1 to V2, okay, that is 50%, and means CLV by ILV dV. Actually here, so this thing it's very difficult to calculate because both CL and IV both are non-linear. It depends on the voltage, because this CL part is depends on the voltage because that junction capacitance is there. It's not linear. Again, that IV also depends on that voltage. Okay, when you are that charging the it's that capacitor output load capacitor charging, the current gradually decreases. Okay, that is completely depends on the voltage. Okay, and CL also depends on the voltage. So this thing is not straightforward calculation to calculate that propagation delay. So what we will do, very simplified model you will use for that propagation delay calculation. Okay, so this is the very simplified model. So you know there is suppose this is a inverter. Okay, so for that inverter, suppose you are giving V in is equal to 0. So what happens? So V in 0 means your NMOS will off, because 0 is the less than threshold voltage, it is off completely. Okay. So that time, so this will be on. Okay, this will be in saturation. Okay. So because this voltage once it will saturation, this voltage will be almost VDD. Okay. So this will act as a, actually will model as a resistor RP. Okay. And this is CL, the load capacitance. It is composed of that intrinsic, extrinsic, that wiring, all this added to this CL. And this is the RP. Similarly, in this case, you can see when V in is equal to high, VDD. Okay. So V in high means VDD minus that VDD is equal to 0. So there is no, means 0 voltage at that input of the PMOS gate. That means it will be off. Okay. DSG. Okay. VDD minus that VDD 0. So it will be off, and this will completely off. This is in saturation. Okay. That means whatever voltage will stored here at this CL, that will discharge through this resistor. Okay. So here the capacitor will charge through this VDD through this resistor, current will flow, that it will charge. But here whatever charge is available at that CL, that will discharge through RN. Okay. So here voltage will rise from 0 to high. Initially it was 0. It will rise from 0 to high. Here initially it was VDD. It will discharge from VDD to 0. Okay. So this way we can calculate how much time it will take to charge 50% of that supply voltage, because you will calculate that propagation delay at 50% of the supply voltage. So we'll see, to charge this node V out, that VDD by 2 means 50% of that this supply. So how much time it will take? Okay, that will calculate. Also here, how much time it will take to discharge, means the voltage at in this node will be VDD by 2. Okay, so if you calculate that, you can easily calculate. If you calculate, you will calculate that propagation delay, that rise propagation delay or fall propagation delay. It's high to low or low to high. So this is very simplified equation, that's in RC transient. So if you know RC transient circuit, how to calculate that, then easily you can calculate that TP. Okay. So till now, anyone have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So 1 minute. So are you able to calculate that? Suppose this is RP and CL. So what is the TP? Can you calculate from this circuit? This is a simple RC circuit. Okay. Suppose for this case, so this is your VDD supply. So just I am drawing for you. So for this is so this is your VDD. Register. This is your CL. This is your RP. Okay. So that means when this switch, okay, this switch off, okay, this switch off, initially this was on, previously this was on, this was off. Now suddenly this switch was off. Okay, that means the voltage, almost voltage you will get, you can discharge this through a current. So now this VDD will charge this capacitor. Okay, this is RC circuit. So how will solve this? So what is your tau?
R into C, R into CL.
Tau is equal to
RP into CL.
RP into CL.
RP into CL. Okay. So anyone can say that tau is equal to RC. That, but what is the, if we solve this, the time, okay, the charge, this will charge, how this will, the charging behavior, how it will charge.
63.3% it will get charged.
So it will charge, suppose this
And
is
at
your
5 tau,
this is your VDD.
at 5 tau it will be constant.
Okay, this is a time. So this will charge. So actually we need that 50%. Okay, that 50% of VDD. Okay. So this time actually we have to calculate TP. So what is the general formula? Anyone can solve this equation that are RC transient?
Yes, sir.
So no, this is your VDD. This is your V out. This is time dependent. So how will solve that?
Sir,
VDD,
first we have to convert it into Laplace.
no, phi Laplace. Just you can do it here. This is R, means that same current is flowing now. The same current
Yes,
is
sir.
flowing here. That is it's open circuit. No current is flowing. So this is equal to, what is CL dV out by dt. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then VDD minus V out T is equal to your R, suppose it's RP CL dV out by dt. Okay. So now what we'll do, so take its VDD minus V out T by D V out T is equal to or RC RC 1 by dt. So one thing you can do here, so 1 by RC dt is equal to dV out T by VTD minus V out T. Okay, so this is the equation. Now you can integrate these things. 1 by RC dt is integration dV out T by VTD minus V out T. Okay, so here 1 by RC. So this time is 0 is time 0 to T, and this is your VDD means you can put its what is voltage is VDD here, and this is VDD by 2. Okay, because we need that na for 50%. 50% means supply 50% of the supply voltage. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That V out, when V out is equal to VDD by 2, that means 50% of the supply voltage. Then at that time, what is the time? We'll calculate that. So that the integration limit will be that it is 0 to VDD by 2 or VDD by VDD to VDD by 2. If you charge, that means it will be 0 to VDD by 2. If you discharge, that VDD to VDD by 2. Okay. So if you integrate these things, then what you will get? So finally, so what we will get? You can solve this. Okay, it's very sensible. If you that this part will come as that dV out by VTD minus V out. If we integrate that, it will it's minus ln that VTD minus V out, like that it will come. Okay, then that part it will come integration of 1 by RC that dt. So that will come P by RC. Okay. So like that. So finally, what you will get, your equation will get means that V out. If you solve that, finally you will get V out will be your VDD into e to the power minus T by RC. Okay. So this in this way your capacitor will charge. Okay. Okay, it's the discharge equation actually. Means if it is VDD. Okay. So this is the discharge equation. Finally, if you'll get if VDD is equal to at this point, so in this equation it will discharge, and for this is V out will be VTD 1 minus okay e to the power minus T by S. So this way, I mean this is the charging and discharging curve and the equation. Okay. So everyone getting this point or not?
Yes, sir.
Or you are still confused how we are getting this? Okay, if you solve that transient equation for in network theory, definitely you come across that things. Okay, so already we have done, I have done that part. So just if you simplify, you will get these things. Okay, or otherwise you will get, suppose if you simplify the first equation, so discharging, that this is V out is equal to VDD e to the power minus T by RC. Okay, so V out by VDD is equal to e to the power minus T by RC. That means ln, we take ln, then ln V out by VDD is equal to minus T by RC. Okay, so ln VDD by V out is equal to T by RC minus then your T is equal to RC ln. So your VDD that VDD. So this is your V out is equal to VDD by 2. Okay. So now you will get ln 2. Yes or no? So please, up to this point.
Yes.
Okay. So your VDD is nothing, V out is nothing but VDD by 2, 50% of that VDD. Okay, VDD can 2 will come. So this is your TP. Okay, this is nothing but your TP. So if you put this value, that ln 2, then TP is equal to 69 RC. Okay. So now, what Pracheta and Shatabdi said initially, that so for one time constant, your charging time is 63%. What charging or discharging? What he said. Hello. Hello, Shatabdi.
Yes, sir.
You said, or Pracheta means that for one time constant, you said 63% or.
Yes, sir, I said.
Okay, so that means for 1 RC, so here it is point. So what is this? This is 0.69. It's less than 1 or greater than 1? Less than 1. Okay, so if you put 1 RC, okay, that is your 63%. Okay, whether it will charge to 63 point or discharge to 63%. Okay, from this one to. So that is for 1 RC. So it is 0.69 RC. Definitely it will less than that charging or discharging thing or not. If you give less time, then charging or discharging that value will be less. So that's why for 0.69, this is TP is equal to 50% will discharge, not 63. For 1 RC, it is 63%. For 0.69 RC, it is 50%. Okay, that output voltage will be 50% of that supply voltage. Okay, it will charge to 50% or discharge to 50%. If you will give 0.69 RC time. So got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So others?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 1 minute. Today who is absent? So today Swapnanjali absent, and who is another one?
Present.
Huh?
The sweetie present.
Sweetie present, Swapnanjali. Swapnanjali absent, and who is Another one.
So Shushri, I guess.
Okay, Susri and Swapnanjali. From beginning, they are absent or due to network connection?
Sir, both were there, I guess, but due to network connection, they are lost, sir.
I have not seen from beginning.
No,
Okay.
Shushri was there, sir, from beginning.
Okay. I'm giving all present, but okay. So everyone getting? So how it is charging or discharging? Or still you have doubt? Okay, I think clear. Okay. So now this is I said that charging and discharge things. But how to predict this RP value? Okay. This RP or RN value. Okay, generally for this we have not discussed, but you can get means the derivation in the Rabe book chapter 3. Okay, how this RP will be calculated, how RN will be calculated. Okay, so that thing is there. So if you want to know these things in a better way, definitely you have to go there. Okay, chapter 3. So you need to know this, that R equivalent or RP or RN. So this is the equation. Okay. And for that I decide all these things are there. So definitely if a problem solution, suppose in your problem you'll get a value, but in Kang book maybe you can get this derivation, but in Rabe it is clearly mentioned you can get that derivation from there. Okay. So this is finally what I said. So that RC circuit, so you'll get TPHL or TPLH or TPHL. So this is 0.69 RNCL. Okay, so it will discharge high to low. So during discharge is 0.69 RNCL. Again, this is also for charging 0.69 RPCL. So how this number 0.69 is coming? So you can easily understood this what we have discussed. Okay, and here remember another thing also. Satabdhi and Pratik also mentioned that point. So always you have to remember most of the interview you can get these things. Suppose anyone will ask to draw the RC charging. Okay. So suppose this will charge, this is the maximum voltage. Okay. This is weighted. This is time or tau. Tau is equal to nothing but RC. Okay. So for one time constant, this is 63% around. Okay. This is tau is equal to 1. Again, tau is equal to suppose 2. So again 60% of these things. Okay, 60% of these things again it will come. So finally, at 5 time constant, at tau is equal to 5. Okay, so it's almost 99.9%. Okay, so after 5 time constant, so it will charge almost 100%. Okay, 99%, 99.9%. Okay, so generally this thing you have to remember at type 5 time constant. So your capacitor will charge to completely the VDD. Okay, sometimes in the inverter design, so you have to add, you have to think about these things. Okay, it's suppose that pole switch is there, so you have to calculate what is the 5 time. So definitely after that your pulse should be more than that. Otherwise it will not come to that point VDD. Okay, then this way you can calculate that TP and TPHL, PLH. Okay, and sometimes this PHL and PLH, so it is not exactly equal. Okay, so depends upon this WP by LP or WN by LN. Okay, so due to that differences, okay, so these, okay, high to low transition or low to high transition time is not constant, same, it's not same. Okay, to make same, so what we will do, generally we have to increase this WP value. Okay, so generally what happen, I'll show you in the next curve. Okay, so by changing this value, it's by increasing this value, finally we will get these two equal. Okay, that new thing already you know. See, this is the mobility of that P mass is more than, I mean, it's around 3 times or more than 3 times lesser than that mobility of N. So that's why this mismatch is there. Okay, so to get a symmetry, means that VTC characteristics curve, that symmetry curve, okay, exactly at that symmetric curve or these two things same, so we have to increase this WP value. So that's why here the TP is, though both are not same, so generally we calculate TP is equal to this plus this divided by 2, the average value. Okay, so this is the average. So got that point?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we are using that average value. So next, these are the summary of that propagation delay what you have discussed. So in the past, propagation delay can be minimized in the following ways. So how we'll minimize that? So first we'll reduce CL. Okay, this is very, very important, because whatever the delay we are getting only because of that CL. Okay, so if you reduce that CL value, then definitely we can reduce that propagation delay. Okay, so how we'll reduce that? This CL composed of 3 things: internal diffusion capacitances, interconnect capacitances, then canard capacitances. Okay, so already said these things not in your hand. So these 2 things we can reduce. Okay, by proper design or less area, by using the less diffusion area, we can reduce these capacitances. Okay, this internal interconnect capacitances also. Okay, by doing the proper layout, means less routing. Okay, and proper routing, we can reduce these capacitances. This is one part, and second part is the increase the W/L ratio. Okay, this is actually most powerful thing in designer sand actually. Okay, so if you increase the W/L ratio, then we can speed up that device, because more if you increase the W/L, then you know I equation mu and Cx W/L. Okay, that is directly proportional to W. Okay, so if W will increase, then your I current will increase. Okay, so this is your inverter. So this is your CL. If W increases, what happen? Current increases. Okay, so that current is nothing but flowing in this path. Okay, so if the current will be more, then it will charge faster. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that means it will increase the W/L value ratio. Okay, so anyway, this device and this both W, if you increase the W, then it will also discharge. For this case, it will discharge also faster. So your propagation delay definitely reduces. Okay, this is another thing. So most often designers use these things. Okay, because in layout also you can do a very minimal change, but here you can do most of the things. And this is some contradiction is there, trade-off is there. If you increase WL very high, what happens? W increases means your diffusion capacitance also increases, the overlap capacitance, all these capacitance will increase or not? Okay, intrinsic capacitances. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is also a create problem, because your main aim is to increase the propagation delay by increase the WL. But what happens simultaneously, if you increase the W value of the transistors, then your oxide capacitances, that intrinsic capacitances will increase. Okay, what about the overlap capacitance? Everything will increase. Okay. So finally, again, you will not get that performance. So that's why it will create a self-loading. So if you increase more and more W/L, so it will create a self-loading. Okay, and it is also create that fan out through factor of the previous gate. So, but there is so you are calculating for here. So you are calculating for this transistor, this inverter. But if you are increasing W/L, so again in CL also adding some capacitance, and also this CGS, all this thing loading up previous capacity inverters. Okay, in two way you get a disadvantage. Okay, so the thing is increase the WL value up to that CL dominating. Okay, once means that intrinsic capacitance will dominate, then after that you will not get the advantage. Okay, so increase the WL value if the intrinsic capacitance will be less than that your intrinsic capacitances, extrinsic capacitances. If the intrinsic capacitance value will more than extrinsic capacitance value, then there is no meaning to increase. Okay, you will get a degraded performance. Okay, and next thing is increase VDD. Sometimes if that is also fixed for a particular technology, you have to use fixed voltage. But sometimes if you increase voltage, you can speed up the device also. Okay. Increase VDD means you can consume more energy from that supply. Okay. So in this way, you can get at least a good performance. Okay. If I increase the VDD. So these are the three things generally we'll consider to reduce the propagation delay. Okay, reduce the CL. Okay, and increase the WL ratio. Okay, and next increase the VDD. And next thing is the rise time and fall time. So here the rise time is the time from I say 10% to 9% of the supply voltage. Means the capacitor will charge the output. The output voltage will be will measure the time when the output supply it will start from the 10% to 90%. That means suppose it is discharge, means from VDD to 0 or VOS to VOL. Okay, so for this case, next right side figure, here the rise time definition. So from its VOL to VOH. Okay, but here from 10% of that final output voltage to 90% of that final output voltage. So this is the time. This is called general rise time. Okay. So this is 10. Generally, it is called 10% to 90%, but in use industry, it's 20 to 80 or 30 to 70 also is this. Okay, but for your definition, for your simple calculation, you can remember from 10 to 90% your rise time. Okay, so within this time, this will rise to 90%, from 10% to 90% of the supply voltage or output voltage. Again, that fall time is from VOS to 0 or VOS to VOA. That from 90% to 10%. If it will fall from 90% to 10%. So this time, so this is your call fall time. Okay. So it is purely from the output waveform. Okay. So no need to relate with the input. So at the output, it is from 90% to 10% or 10% to 90%. That is the rise time and fall time. Okay. So here any doubt? What is rise time? What is fall time?
No, sir.
So now some important points are there. We have to discuss this thing. What are the things you have not covered here? That propagation delay. Actually, what are the important points you have to note is that first is the impact of fan out. Okay, fan out means how it is added. The fan out effects added to the CL. Okay, so already you know that intrinsic capacitance and extrinsic capacitance. So that extrinsic capacitance is nothing but the fan out. Fan out means the output cascaded inverters at the output of that first inverter. So due to that capacitance is called the extrinsic capacitance. It is called also fan out. Okay, so generally it is modeled as in this way. TP N means number of outputs, means number of get connected to that output of the first inverter. Okay, so finally here is TP0 means when it is single fan out, means single inverter is connected. TP0 means there is nothing is connected. Okay, so you can calculate in this way. So if number of fan out components is there, means fan out gates are there. So you can calculate 1 plus alpha n. So alpha it is here it's a linearized term because that exactly the capacitance is not linear. It's not depends upon the number of fan out. Okay, so that's why some constants are mentioned here. So in this way you can calculate the impact of fan out. Okay. And next thing, another very important thing, that NMOS and PMOS ratio. Okay, that thing generally why we are doing that NMOS and PMOS ratio to make the that VTC core more symmetrical or to maximize that noise margin. Okay, for that two things generally we size the PMOS. In PMOS is around 3 times or 2.5 times. Okay, to get exactly that VP, that TPHL or TPLH exactly same, or to get a symmetrical VTC, generally we size that NMOS and PMOS. Okay, but here the interesting thing is if you reduce, we already discussed, if you increase this value W by L value, so we will get the better performance, means more speed. But again, if you increase the ratio of NMOS to PMOS, okay, both will be scaled ratio, then we will get also, means that performance will be better. Okay, so that thing here that is generally called beta ratio. That means you can see, suppose this is W by LP and this is W by LN. Okay, so generally W by LP by W by LN is called beta. So generally it is called beta ratio. Okay. So here generally we use beta is equal to around 3 or 2.5 like that. So to get what symmetrical VTC, that input will exactly cross at the half of VDD. This is your VDD. So VDD by 2. Okay. Or that this okay. So by using this value 3 or 2.5 at mobility according to mobility, so we'll get this is same or VTC. But actually case some beta optimization value is there. You have to calculate beta optimization. So if you use that value, then what happen? Your TP will be very, very less. Okay. So some mathematics is there. So I have mentioned that thing here. Okay. So if you use some beta value, okay, this is your CL. Okay, CDP1, CD means the drain side of the that inverter and the gate side of that next inverter, and this is the wiring. So this is your CL, and if you use the beta value, then one transistors that PMOS transistors capacitance also will multiply with the beta. Okay, so that thing also I have calculated here. Okay. So that CDP1 is equal to beta into CD1, CGP2 is equal to that CDP1. Just I'm drawing this thing. So this is inverter. So this is your fast inverter. So this is your next inverter. Okay, so here generally we are calculating CL. So your CL is nothing but CDP1 plus CDN1. So this is at this drain, DP1, DN1 due to drain point plus CGP2 plus CGN2. This is inverter 1, this is inverter 2 at this point. Okay, GP2, GN2. Okay, this capacitance plus wiring capacitance. Okay. Now what happened? So you use this transistor. Okay, beta times of this transistor. Okay, this is from M1 is M2. So M2 W2 is equal to beta of W1 like this. That means if you are increasing this W value in beta times, then what happened? This CDP1, this is also increases by beta times. This is also increases by beta times. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please, if you are not understanding, just ask. Okay, so we are increasing the W value here, beta times of this. So now, similarly, the DP1 will increase by beta times. This also increase by beta times. So finally, what you will get? CL is equal to. If you add this, then finally you will take common, then 1 by beta CD1 plus CGN2. CW is equal to, that is constant because you are not. So finally, what happened? If you put that value, then TP is equal to your that average value of that divided by 2. So finally, it will come to 0.69 by 2, 1 plus beta. So this value. plus CW into Rn plus, again Rp by beta will come, because if we are increasing that W, the resistance will decrease or not? That Rp by
Yes, sir.
W.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Rp by beta. So everything will win. So finally you will get this value, Tp. So here R is nothing but that ratio of Rp by Rn. Okay. Here Rp by Rn, because you take common Rn. So Rp by Rn is equal to this R. Okay. So now here two things we can think about here. So once we are increasing, if you will increase, so when you will increase that W by L value, when you are increasing, so you are getting better performance. Okay. But once W increases, the capacitances are added extra. That also reduces the performance. So two contradictory factors are there. By increasing the W, we are getting better performance. Again, by increasing the W, we are getting CL will be more. It will also pull your performance. Okay. So there is a optimization is there. So once the two contradictory factor is there, definitely one optimization thing will be there. So for that we have to calculate the Tp, dTp by d beta is equal to 0. If we do the differential is equal to 0, so finally we will get beta optimization. If we do this this part dP by d beta, then you will get that R 1 plus CW by CDN. So this thing you will get. Okay. So here think about this is very negligible. Compared to this, it's negligible. So finally, what you will get? This beta optimization is equal to root over of R. So initially, for better performance, what we are using? That R. Okay, Rp by Rn. We are actually calculating that is around 2.5 or 3, like that. But now for optimization value, that will be root over of that R. That means if you 2.5, root over that 2.5. So by using that beta value, if you use this beta value, means root over of this, then you will get means optimized TP value, less TP value, propagation delay. Okay. So this is a very interesting result. You have to remember this thing. Okay. So now you can see. So this curve you can see. So here you can see this is your beta. Okay, beta means that W P by Wn. Okay, this value. So when you are increasing this value, then your TP low to high, it decreases. Okay, this is TP means this is your P mass, this is your N mass. Okay. Initial suppose it's low, this value is 0. Okay. This is your 0. Okay. Now what happened? You are increasing this value. This value means, so what happened? It will try to charge this node very fast. Yes or no? If you are increasing this value compared to this, if it is constant, if you are increasing this value, so then low to high, that means it will, this VDD will charge this capacitor. So this will charge fast. Okay, this will charge fast. That means less time will take. That means T low to high. So low to high, it will charge. So it will charge fast. That means your TP, if you increase gradually increase this value, then this value will decrease. Now see, if when beta is equal to 1, it's around here. Now beta increases to 3.5, so it is gradually decreasing. Got the point? But simultaneously, what happened? If you are increasing this value, then whatever the intrinsic capacitance due to this P also added to the CL. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So due to that, if there is a 1, so this will in discharge. That means capacitor will be more and more charge. So it will take more time to discharge. Okay. That means in the N side you can see that PH2L means high to low. Suppose high is there, so it will discharge. So it will take more time by increasing the beta. So at a particular point here, okay, that's I can say this is 2.5 like that at mu L. So mu N by mu P. That's 2.5 generally we are saying. So at this point both are same. That propagation delay, both are same. This is the point generally to get symmetrical VTC. Okay, symmetrical VTC. This is VDD by 2. Symmetrical VTC or this TPLH is equal to B. So we use beta is equal to 2.5. Okay. But now we can see, but the TP is equal to the by using the if you use the here at this point, you can see the overall TP, the average of that two. Okay, so you can see here is equal to minimum. It's around 1.6 or like that, 1.4. Okay. So if you use the beta W by WN is equal to 1.6, then you will get optimized TP. Means TP will be less at that point. Okay. So this is for a general calculation, but this is optimized beta. Okay. So that's why it's a very interesting result, very tricky also. Sometimes if someone will go very deep, then they can ask this type of question. Okay, what is optimized beta or what is the normal beta? Okay, this is the optimized beta where you will get less TP, propagation delay. Okay, but here in this point, if you use beta, you will get two things: symmetric VTC and same TPLH or same TPHL. Okay. Now also here another thing you can see, the rise fall time of the input signal. Okay, again two things we have discussed, that one is this impact of fan out. So what is that? Means that propagation delay depends upon the fan out. Then how it depends upon NMOS by PMOS ratio. And third point is the rise and fall time of the input. So till now, what we have assumed? We have assumed that this input. Okay, this input. This is this is ideal. Okay, no transition, rise transition, no fall transition. Okay, it's constantly from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. Okay, but actually in reality this is not there. So everywhere it is some rise time, some fall time at the input. Okay, so this thing, if you add this thing in our analysis, definitely due to this rise or due to this fall, again at also output delay will be changed, will increase. Okay, that propagation delay. So you can see if your slope at the input increases, okay, your TP increases. Okay, are you getting that? What is the slope input here? Because you are suddenly you are giving 0 to 1 or 1 to 0 at the input, but actually if you will give this value, analyze these things. When you are giving this type of value, how the output changes, means the propagation delay increases. Okay, because initially suddenly at 0 time it is getting the middle time, means transistor is on, but here after some time you are getting that threshold voltage of the transistor. Okay, that's why the propagation delay will be more. Okay, if you are not understanding, you can ask you. Okay. Why you are getting more propagation delay if you are changing the slope. Okay. So this is one thing. Next thing is so next thing is another point is delay in the presence of long interconnect wires. Okay, so long interconnect wires means suppose two inverters are there. Okay, so this is one inverter and this is another inverter. Okay, so it's a long wire. Okay, so that's why due to this path resistance and some capacitance will come. Okay, so all the effects will be added to the CL. Okay, so again the wiring capacitance will increase. So these four things you have to remember. So first is that fan out. So first thing is that it's this is a fan out impact, then PMOS by NMOS ratio, and then it will increase the slope of the input. Okay, then your long interconnect wire. Okay, long interconnect wire. So these four things deeply you have to go to this. So whatever I have discussed, everything it is from the that which book, that Rabe book. Okay, so here the more intuitional things are there. So the main calculation part you will get in the Kang book. Okay, so everything is same, just you have to calculate some numerical problems, then you will clear. Okay, so anyone have any doubt up to this? So everyone understood these things? Hello.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, so what is that dynamic characteristics? Please go through the books and do the problems and understand these things very deeply, then you can remember. So that capacitor part that in device, how the capacitors are formed, that overlap capacitances, diffusion capacitances, that channel capacitances, how it's linear, non-linear, voltage dependent or straightforward. So these things you need to understand. Otherwise, in dynamic, it's completely depends upon that capacitance sources. Okay. So here the additional is that wire capacitances and that fan out capacitances. Okay. So now if you know this thing, then you can by hand calculation you can calculate what is the capacitance of CL. So no need to blindly think about this may be the CL. We can put some femtofarad or picofarad. So in a rough calculation you can do. So this is the WL value. This is the means wire model value. This is the number of fan outs. Then I have to calculate the capacitance. So in this level you have to understand. Otherwise it's no meaning. Just simply you'll solve the problem. You'll remember today. So after 10 days you'll completely forget. You have to go again by book. Go to the book again. You'll remember. Then you'll forget after 5 days. So this cycle will. So you have to understand in this level. Then it will remember all the time. Okay. So please go through this and understand. See, I'm here. If you are facing any problem related to these things, completely that intentional things, very deep things, I will help you. So you have to give time. You have to read all these things in very detailed manner. So one of the book that is Rabe is the most. It's very good book. You can get most intentional things from that book, and most calculative problems. All these things from CAN. So we'll combine two books, then definitely you'll be master in this subject. Okay, no one will beat you. Okay, thank you all. So anyone want to ask anything, or we'll stop here?
So actually, we have another class.
Yeah, you can go. Okay. So don't take my words hardly. Just go through that materials and go through a book. Let's read because it's for your benefit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.